Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Hard 100, a video series documenting the culling of my collection from what it is to what it will be, a Hard 100. There's only 3 rules here. I cannot get rid of a game until I play it, which is why we are in the middle of a bit of a solo experience. Rule number 2, if it's an expansion and a full game, that's going to count as one game. I'm putting it all in the box, even if it sprinkles out in other boxes. And then rule number 3, once I get this business down to a Hard 100, it's one in, one out, no exceptions. I'm gonna make that happen. Now, today we are looking at a little bit of a smaller game. This is a game by a gentleman who is very, very popular online as far as the crowdfunding scene goes. Mr. Scott Alms, purveyor of many things tiny and epic. However, this is a tiny game. It is not epic. It's not bad though. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about Harbour. So ladies and gentlemen, Harbour is a bit of an odd duck. Mr. Alms, Mr. Alms, Mr. Scott of Tiny Epic fame, he loves 2 things in his games, and goddamn does he love these 2 things. He loves races. Son, these are all different races, and Mr. Amal, man, he loves them. If you've ever played Tiny Epic Kingdoms, Tiny Epic Galaxies, if you played anything like that, this man loves his races. What he also loves doing is keeping track of things with tokens on a track. If you got 3 resources, you don't get 3 cubes. No, sir, you get 1 cube, and you mark it on the number 3. That's what his deal is. So what this does is 2 things. 1, it provides a lot of variety for the people who are super into his games. What it also does, it provides a very small footprint for these kind of games. This is a game that I actually was able to play at work. The solo version of this is for a dummy player. That dummy player worked pretty well. The way that it got set up, I could plan my turn around it, but it wasn't too hard. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. Let me tell you what you're actually doing in this game. What you do is you have a row of buildings, and on your turn, you're gonna take your fancy little harbor dude, and you're gonna send him to one of those buildings to do the thing on it. It's a little bit like action selection where you put your dude on a thing, and then he does whatever the action is. Now, eventually, you are gonna get some money and some goods, and what you're gonna be doing is you're gonna be manipulating a little bit of a stock market board, which is actually super cool and very interesting, and it can really screw over the people if you're not careful. And you are going to adjust that to the point where you're able to sell all your fishes and meats and pigs and whatnots. I don't think there's pigs in this. Oh, there are pigs. Your fishes and woods and meats and bricks. You're gonna sell all those things to buy these buildings to put in front of you. And of course, if someone wants to use a building in front of you, then son, they got to pay. And there are a ton of buildings. And they all cost, and the art is lovely. The buildings aren't particularly interesting, but that doesn't matter. It doesn't suffer from what some games like this suffer from, where this is just the same building, only a little bit better. But they are all a little mathy. It's all remove these to get some of these, remove this to get some of that, and it's not bad. The solo variant in this works with a dummy player. Now, I've seen some online variants that would allow you to just do 20 turns and see what you can get. Now, as far as this goes, I played it once and I was very impressed. I was like, I like this. I want to play this again immediately. So I did. I played it immediately and I was like, I really like this. I played it wrong the first time because, it's going to happen. But it was really good. I really enjoyed it. But then I played it a 3rd time and a 4th. But nothing changed. Once you see everything this game has to offer, that's it. The races aren't particularly interesting when it comes to diversity. Once you've seen all the buildings, you're kind of just waiting for that one building to come out. It's just mathing it up a little bit till you get to the point where you can sell, and then the first person to a certain amount of buildings ends the game, and then whoever has the most monies is the winner. It's not bad though. It's not bad at all. I had a lot of fun with it. Originally, when I finished my first game, I was like, I want to play this with somebody. I want to see how it would change to interact with somebody. But it doesn't. I can't imagine how it would be different with another player. I know with multiple people, you just have more cards out and more options to do the thing, and you would have more options to choose other people's special abilities, which is kind of neat. But it's age 10 plus. I can dig that. 30 to 60 minutes, probably 30. If you play with 4 people, then that's 60. 1 to 4 players. Art is beautiful. Box solid. I think you can pick this business up at Barnes & Noble for crying out loud for like 20 bucks. I paid 10 bucks for it. There's a video I put up that I got a little bit of flack on because I bought this for 10 bucks on Cool Stuff, and it's not bad. I'm not keeping it. I don't need it anymore. I've played it. I feel like I've seen everything this game has to offer. Whenever it comes to, hey y'all, what you want to play? My brain's not automatically going to go to, let's play Harbour, let's play Harbour, let's play Harbour. I thought about keeping this in my desk at work. And then maybe trying to play with some people at work. Be like, hey, you want to play Harbour? I got a really cool game. This might be a good gateway game. But it's too simple for gamers and too complicated to be a simple gateway. There's some stuff going on here. It's a lot of reading, a lot of text. Explaining that market board to someone who doesn't have the time or whatever to learn it. It's not bad though. This one came with some promos, and I got some promos in another game in Bottle Cap Vikings. I got an extra race in here that was pretty cool. It's not going back on my shelf. It's very, very fun. I recommend it. I think if I was just getting into the hobby, if I hadn't seen something like this done infinitely better in other games, or if I didn't just want a little bit more, just a little bit more, a little something. I wanted, I don't know, maybe a little bit of a bigger box with a few extra bells and whistles. Give me something else to do with my goods other than math it up until I get enough money to buy something. Single player variant, the dummy player is very well thought out. Good job. The design is pretty solid. It's just not fun after I've played it 3 or 4 times. And you know what? For 10 bucks, I got my money's worth. You know, I go spend 12 bucks for a movie that's an hour and a half and it's not great, no big deal. Spend 10 bucks for this. I got a good hour, hour and a half solid enjoyment out of it, and I'm done with it. And this is most likely going to come to one of you folks one day as soon as I get enough. But this is the second game in as many weeks that is actually not going back on the shelf. It's not in the hard 100, so it is also done. All right, now for Harbour, I want to talk about one thing that I maybe ranted on, not maybe, that I definitely ranted on in my Black Orchestra review. And that is the notion of displaying whatever victory you had on social media. Now, Harbour, and all its, where the fuck did it go? I had it just now. Oh, it's not on my shelf, that's why. Harbour is a silly game about orcs and goblins and whatnots and piggies and everything, and it's just silly. So whenever you win this game, you get this. You get to be the Harbour Master. It's a little tentacle with a key to the city. And then let me read the back of this for you. As an added bonus for winning the game, the creature in the harbor throws you the key to the city. Hold up the Harbour Master card and take a selfie with it and announce your victory on social media. You've earned this victory lap. Until you are dethroned, the Harbour Master card sits with you during play. Share with your picks at Tasty Minstrel, at Scott Almas. Pretty neat. Now this is how you're supposed to do it. This is a silly game. It's not a heavy thing. It's just robots and this little dude blew up and I got meeples and stuff. This is a silly game. So it's okay if I want to post on social media that I'm the Harbour Master. Look how cool I am. I don't want you to think that I'm against stuff like this. I'm just saying, read the room. And this room says, hey, you know what? That's pretty neat. I wish more games did this when it was necessary and not when it wasn't. So I think this is a cool thing. I think it kind of gets people talking, gets the tweets out there, gets the conversations going. And I think more games should do this when appropriate. So once again, my name is Billy. It might be good for your shelf, but it's not good for mine. I hope you've enjoyed this look into the journey for my hard 100 as we go through. Hope you and yours are well. We'll see you next time.